moving forward to the Berubari case. So what this case was all about? For that, you just imagine we have discussed that you can make changes within Union of India. You can add new states into Union of India under Article 2 and 3. Right? What if we give certain territory of India from Union of India, that is from states or from UT, AT, right, etc., to a foreign country? Right? Then how we can give up any territory to foreign country? What will be the procedure of giving up certain territory to foreign country? That question was decided in Berubari case. Why and how such case was relating to transfer of territory to foreign country? Let's discuss. So basically, India-Pakistan boundary was demarcated by a British official named Redcliffe. That's why India-Pakistan boundary is also called as Redcliffe line. And how he demarcated the boundary between India and Pakistan? Quite arbitrarily, quite in haste, quite in hurry. Because in July end 1947, he came to India, and by 15th August 1947, he demarcated the boundary between India and Pakistan. When he arrived in India for demarcation of boundary, he does not have any idea about India's history, India's culture, India's geography, India's demography, etc. And he was given such a Herculean task of dividing the country, of demarcating the country before 15th August 1947. That's approximately in 20 days. He was asked that how he will able to achieve such big task of demarcating the boundary in just 2 weeks, which ideally should have taken 2 or 3 years. He said, very simple. He bring India's map and demarcated the line, thereby creating West Pakistan, East Pakistan. That's it. That's how he created the India and Pakistan's boundary lines. So his demarcation was done in haste. That's why it was full of errors. Many points he have missed to mention in the map. Many lines were not properly drawn. That's why borders remain disputed between India and Pakistan. And first such dispute was of Berubari. Berubari was part of Jalpaiguri district of West Bengal. Jalpaiguri district of West Bengal, which borders Bangladesh. Right? And Jalpaiguri district was divided between India and Pakistan, and it was divided based on thanas. Right? Suppose there are 50 thanas. 40 thanas were given to India, suppose, or suppose 50 thanas are given to India and 50 thanas are given to Pakistan. Right? So thanas of Jalpaiguri districts were divided between India and Pakistan. But Redcliffe omitted Boda Thana to mention in its award, in its map. That's why it became disputed between India and Pakistan. And this Boda Thana include Berubari territory. It was in actual control of India, but it was not mentioned in map. It was not specifically drawn in map. That's why Pakistan also claimed it. Pakistan says, how can you take up this territory when it is not there in map? Right? So then India-Pakistan negotiated. Right? India-Pakistan negotiated. You can see in the map the Jalpaiguri city, right? The Berubari, and so on. India-Pakistan negotiated, and there was narrow noon agreement in 1958, which says this Berubari Union will be divided between India and Pakistan equally. Half will be given to India, half will be given to Pakistan. Right? So India decided to pass a law to give this territory to Pakistan, right? But this was objected by opposition. Opposition says that you are giving up the said territory to Pakistan and you want to pass a law for it. But you can't do it because it's unconstitutional. How? They say Article 2 and 3 deals with creation of states. They do not deal with giving up of territory to foreign country. Right? So that was the constitutional question regarding the giving up of territory to any other country by law. So the matter reached to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court in Berubari case said that power of Parliament under Article 3 is regarding increasing, decreasing area of any state, or it's relating to creation of any new state. But it does not include increasing or decreasing the territory of India. You get the point? So that's why Indian territory cannot be ceded to any foreign country under Article 2 or 3. Indian territory can be ceded, can be given up to any other country by Constitutional Amendment Act. It means required 2/3 majority in both houses of the parliament. It means opposition need to be taken into confidence for giving up such territory to any other country, for getting such constitutional amendment bill get passed in parliament. You get the point? So Indian territory can be given to any foreign state only by amending the constitution under Article 368. That's by passing Constitutional Amendment Act. Then how Supreme Court came into such reasoning? How Supreme Court said that you can create a new state under Article 2(3) by ordinary law, but for giving up territory you need Constitutional Amendment Bill. How? See, the union government wants to give up Jalpaiguri district area to Pakistan. It says we are decreasing the area of state of West Bengal. Thereby we can pass the bill under Article 2 or 3. Right? So union government was saying we are just decreasing union of India's territory. That's why we need just a bill to get passed in parliament under Article 2(3). But the Supreme Court says you are not decreasing union of India's territory. Union of India is sum total of states. So you are not decreasing union of India's territory. You are actually decreasing territory of India's. You are actually decreasing territory of India. You are actually decreasing territory of India. And territory of India, remember, is mentioned in Article 1. I've told you, Article 1 mentioned India, that is Bharat, shall be union of states. And territory of India shall include states, UTs and ATs. So here, Article 1 is being applied because territory of India, overall territory of country is getting reduced by giving up territory to Pakistan, by giving up Berubari to Pakistan. So that's why here Article 1 is being applied. That's why for making changes under Article 1, you need Article 368. But for making changes under Article 2 or 3, you need just ordinary bill. For making changes under Article 2(3), that's in Union of India, right? You just need ordinary bill, simple majority. But for making changes in under Article 1, where territory of India is being enlarged or being reduced, you need Constitutional Amendment Bill. You get the point? You understood? So if territory of India is intact and then you are changing Union of India's area, either increasing or decreasing, ordinary bill, Article 2 and 3. But if territory of India's size is either increasing by gaining territory or decreasing by losing territory, then you will do under Article 1 and by Constitutional Amendment Act, thereby requiring special majority. You get the point? For example, 9th Constitutional Amendment Act 1960 was passed, thereby Berubari territory was transferred to Pakistan by this Amendment Act. Recently, Modi government passed 100th Constitutional Amendment Act in Parliament in 2015, by which India transferred 111 enclaves to Bangladesh. And Bangladesh transferred 51 enclaves to India. So here India's territory decreased. Territory of India is decreased by 111 enclaves, and territory of India increased by 51 enclaves. So territory of India is decreasing. So thereby it will be done under Article 1. That's why we'll require Constitutional Amendment Act, 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. Thereby required 2/3 majority in Parliament. Right? So you must be wondering what is enclave. Enclave is part of country surrounded by another country. For example, see this map. So these red lines you are seeing, right? This is Bangladesh, this is India, this is India-Bangladesh borders. So these red lines you are seeing, they are actually Bangladeshi territory, but surrounded by India. And this green territory you are seeing are actually Indian territory, but surrounded by Bangladesh. So by this agreement, we say this territory will belong to Bangladesh because this is surrounded by Bangladesh. So that's why we give up 111 enclaves to Bangladesh. Similarly, Bangladesh says these enclaves of it will belong to India. So Bangladesh give up 51 enclaves to India because these enclaves were surrounded by Indian territory. So these enclaves people become Indians, and these enclaves people will become Bangladeshis. Clear? And also there was transfer of adverse possession. What was adverse possession? Let me explain you through a story. Suppose cyclone happened in Orissa and a family get homeless, get completely ruined. And that family suppose moved to Delhi. And here they found a vacant land, and there they build a hut made of thatched roof, right? By wood sticks, branches, twigs, etc. And the family start working in households or in construction as laborers. And slowly they save some money. And they found that on given vacant land, nobody came to vacate it. Nobody came to evict them. So they decided to make a pakka house, right? So they save money and make a pakka house. They get now protection from rain, heat, etc. Years passed by, like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Nobody came to evict them from the land, right? So they decided to create one more story to their hut. Now they have created 2 or 3 story building. 30 years passed, 50 years passed, nobody came to evict. But suddenly, after suppose 60 years, somebody appeared and asked them to evict the land by saying that such land belonged to him. Now tell me, after 60 years, should such family be evicted from land? Answer is no. Now such family is legally owner of such land because it was in continuous possession of such land for prolonged period of time without any objection. Without any objection. For 60 years, the owner did not came to evict them. It means owner, we will assume that owner has give up its right over the land, its ownership over the land. For 60 years, he has not come to evict such family from the land. So we will assume that owner has forgotten his land or give up its ownership over the land. Now the land belongs to the occupant, possessor, the family. You get the point? But if suppose owner has come to evict the land after 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, etc., by bringing police, by filing FIR, by taking the case to court, etc., then the land would have belonged to owner. Then land would have been returned to owner. But owner have not taken any action for 60 years, then the land will be given to family, the occupant, the possessor. That is the principle of adverse possession. So in Indian law, if somebody occupied the land for 14 years without any objection, then such land will be given to the occupant, possessor. Clear? Similarly, there were many adverse possession territories of Bangladesh held by India and many of India held by Bangladesh. So by this agreement, there was exchange of adverse possessions also. So not only enclaves were exchanged, but also adverse possessions. Clear? So adverse possessions were exchanged between India and Bangladesh. Third, the boundary was also demarcated where it was not earlier. Clear? So basically, Act amended first schedule of the Constitution. The territory of India is prescribed in first schedule of the Constitution. That's why it required Constitutional Amendment Act. I've told you, if territory of India is intact, then you are making changes in Union of India, then no Constitutional Amendment Bill. You can do it by Article 2 and 3. But if territory of India is getting enlarged or diminished, etc., then you are going under Article 1. That's why you require Constitutional Amendment Bill. Clear? You understood? So that's all about Berubari case.